guys, today we are going to hear and read a story that is a kind of traditional literature. We call these literary texts. And this is a legend, and legends are very similar to myths. As you're listening to the story, I want you to think about some similarities between myths and legends. So I'm going to share my screen with you. That way you can read along with me. And this is a legend from Sir Ivaine by Maud L. Radford, King Arthur and his knights. So let's look over here first at the words to know. So we're going to look for these words. Courtesy. So when you show someone courtesy, you're being polite to them, you're being respectful. You've probably heard the word courtesy being used as courteous. It's really courteous of you to hold the door for me. The next word is determined. I am so determined to go for a run today. I'm really going to put my mind to it, and I'm just set that it's going to happen. Disobedient. Liam was disobedient by being on his iPad past 8 p.m. So if we take this prefix dis away, then we just have the word obedient, obey. Okay, so let's look for those words. Among King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table was one who was a mixture of good and bad, as indeed most people are. His name was Sir Ivaine, brave, kind-hearted, and merry, but at the same time, fickle, sometimes forgetful of his promises, and inclined to make light of serious things. One night in the early spring, the knights and ladies of Arthur's court were sitting in the dining hall. Sir Ivaine was telling of his experience with the Black Knight. "It was when I was very young," he said. "Indeed, I had just been made a knight. Someone told me of the wicked Black Knight who lived, and still lives, in a wood a long way from here. Knowing that he did much evil, I determined to kill him. I rode to the wood where he lived, and in which I found a marble platform. In the middle of it was a sunken space holding a fountain. I walked to this, and following the directions of some writing which was on the stone, picked up a cup that lay at hand, and filling it with water, I poured it into the fountain. Then a great storm of wind and rain arose, and when it was at its height, the Black Knight rode up and began to attack me. Oh, we fought for a little while, but he easily overthrew me. Thinking me dead, he rode back, leaving me on the ground. But after a time, I was able to mount my horse and went back to my mother's castle." At this moment, the king and queen entered, unperceived by anyone except Sir Ivaine. The young man, who was always polite, sprang to his feet, and then the other knights rose. Sir Kay, who was not always sweet-tempered, said to Sir Ivaine, "We all know you are very polite, but you have more courtesy than bravery." At that, Sir Ivaine said, "I was almost a boy when the Black Knight overthrew me, but I could conquer him now." "It is very easy to say that after you have eaten," said Sir Kay. "Almost any knight feels brave and self-satisfied when he has had a good supper of venison." The king asked what the conversation was about, and Sir Ivaine repeated the story of his adventure, adding, "And, Sir King, I crave your permission to set forth tomorrow to slay this Black Knight who is a pest in the land." I have heard of this man, said the king, and have often thought of sending him someone to punish him. But he lives far away, and it has been necessary heretofore to right first the wrongs nearest home. Yet now his evil deeds and persecutions must cease. Tomorrow a company of us will set forth and conquer him and all his people. The king named some half-dozen of his knights, Sir Ivaine among them, who were to undertake this adventure. Now Sir Ivaine was displeased. He thought the adventure should be his alone. So he rose in the middle of the night and stole away, unattended, determined to go in advance of the others and kill the Black Knight. It didn't occur to him that in proving himself brave, he was also proving himself to be disobedient. See the knights here in the round table. He rode forth in the darkness, humming merrily to himself. After many days of travel, Sir Ivaine reached the forest in the midst of which was the castle of the Black Knight. He rode to the platform of stone, and the Black Knight appeared. He recognized the army of Sir Ivaine and said, "Aha! I see I did not kill you before, but you shall not escape me this time." "The best man shall win," said Sir Ivaine cheerfully. Then the two began a great combat. They fought so eagerly that they were not even aware of the storm. It was not long before the Black Knight began to grow weak from the many powerful and death-dealing strokes from Sir Ivaine's sword. At last, seeing that he was mortally wounded, the Black Knight turned his horse. He galloped in the direction of his castle. Sir Ivaine followed, but he couldn't quite catch up with the Black Knight, although gaining on him inch by inch. By the time the castle moat was reached, Sir Ivaine was only 5 feet behind. The horses thundered one after the other over the bridge. The Black Knight rode under the portcullis, or sharp iron gate, which was raised. The instant he was inside, the portcullis fell in order to shut out Sir Ivaine. But Sir Ivaine had already passed beneath it. He sprang to his feet and drew his sword to renew his attack upon the Black Knight. But he was already dead. Then Sir Ivaine realized what his recklessness had cost him. There he was, alone, in a strange castle, the lord of which he had killed. Soon, the people of the castle would come down and capture him, for he could not escape since the portcullis was down. And this ... ellipse at the end means that this is just a portion of the story.